morning. I'm Angie Tuning, Executive Director of the Vinton Area Chamber of Commerce. The Vinton Chamber has hosted the State of the Town for many years, but it is my pleasure to welcome you to our first virtual State of the Town Address 2021. This year's State of the Town will allow us to share in the Chamber's mission to promote community as a great place to live, shop, play, work, and do business. This has been especially important during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Chamber recognizes the importance of supporting economic development as well as the needs of our community. The growth in our town is the product of the efforts put forth by our town and area community leaders. We would like to thank each of them for our collaborations in making so many new and wonderful things happen in our town, and are excited for many more developments to come. We will emerge from these uncertain times stronger and with even more determination to continue along the paths we have forged to a brighter future. On behalf of the Vinton Area Chamber of Commerce, I would like to thank the town of Vinton, our businesses, and our citizens for their continued support of the Chamber's effort. We look forward to many collaborations in the future. The annual State of the Town Address will be given by Mayor Brad Gross. Mayor Gross has been a resident of Vinton since 1985 and is the owner and president of Dominion Electronics Incorporated. He is currently in his 5th term as mayor, having served on the Town Planning Commission as well as a council member prior to being elected as mayor in 2004. Mayor Gross is currently the chairman of the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission and also serves on the Roanoke Regional Partnership and the Vinton Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, where he served twice as chamber president. He has been married to his wife Debbie for 42 years and has 2 daughters and 4 grandchildren. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Mayor Brad Gross.
Hello, I'm Mayor Brad Gross. Thank you very much for joining us for the annual Town of Vinton State of the Town Address. Like many of you who have had to adapt to changes over the past year in our professional and private lives, we are delivering our message to you in a new way. However, despite the change in format, I hope you will enjoy the presentation and this opportunity to reflect on 2020 and how we have been blessed in our town, even though the year was filled with many obstacles and challenges. I'd like to first thank Ms. Angie Tuning, Executive Director of the Vinton Area Chamber of Commerce, for the warm welcome and introduction. Angie, Catherine Sowers, Justin Davidson, and the entire Chamber Board worked tirelessly to create family-friendly programs and events throughout the year, as well as representing the Vinton business community on a daily basis by generating positive awareness and value-added services for the Chamber members. Angie and team, thanks for all you do for Vinton, particularly during such a difficult year for our business community. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank my family, Debbie, Mandy, and Melissa, for their continued support. I could not serve as mayor without their patience, love, and understanding. Thanks, ladies. You are the best, and I love you. Before we get fully into the presentation, I want to acknowledge and sincerely thank my fellow council members for their vision, leadership, and friendship. Vice Mayor Sabrina McCarty, Councilmember Keith Lyles, Councilmember Mike Stovall, and Councilmember Lori Mullins. I thank each of you for your dedication to our community. You are shaping Vinton for the better, and I am extremely fortunate to serve alongside each of you. Even though some of you have a weird sense of humor, I admire and appreciate you. You are doing a great job for the citizens of Vinton. Next, I'd like to recognize the town's leadership team. Pete Peters, town manager, who was just officially appointed as town manager, having served in interim role for 5 months, and previously as assistant town manager for the last 5 years. Fabricio Drummond, our new chief of police, was also just recently appointed to his position, having served as interim for 5 months and previously as deputy chief for 4 years, having joined the police department in 2009. Ann Cantrell, town treasurer and finance director. Susan Johnson, town clerk and executive assistant to the town manager, Donna Collins, human resource and risk management director, Anita McMillan, planning and zoning director, Chastity Barber, community programs and facilities director, and Bo Herndon, acting public works director. I especially want to thank Pete Peters for his help with today's presentation. And I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge two recent departures from the town leadership team who were very much a part of the success we will talk about today. Barry Thompson served as town manager for 5 years beginning in 2016, having previously served as interim town manager and finance director and treasurer, and as finance director and treasurer since 2004. Barry retired in late 2020 with 30 years of experience and service in local government, and we want to thank him for his leadership, friendship, and dedication to the town. Chief Tom Foster also left the town in 2020 to accept a position and appointment as U.S. Marshal for the Western District of Virginia. Tom worked for Vinton as Chief of Police since 2016 and previously served 27 years with the Virginia State Police. We want to thank you, Tom, as well for your leadership with the town and your commitment to public service. Both of these gentlemen are highly successful individuals, and I consider them to be personal friends. Thanks to all of our dedicated staff for their tireless efforts in serving the citizens of Vinton, particularly during 2020 with all of its challenges. It would have been easy to say we can't, but the team pulled together at every level of the organization to make the best of the circumstances to get the job done, whatever that might have been, with a smile and a great attitude, time after time under the pressure of the pandemic. While things weren't ideal in 2020, and we certainly missed many of our special events and festivals and personal interactions that make Vinton such a special place, Vinton was able to endure in many ways to become even stronger. I know that I can say on behalf of my fellow council members that no stone was left unturned and the effort never wavered when it would have been easy to just give in. I can say with all of my heart, we are blessed to have a wonderful staff at the town of Vinton. Our team is awesome. To our business owners, we say thank you for your devotion to this community, your perseverance to do whatever it took to overcome your personal challenges of the pandemic, and your ingenuity to continue to find ways to meet the needs of your customers or provide your services. To the school teachers, public safety, emergency service employees, and healthcare workers, you have been a true inspiration to all of us by running towards danger to protect and serve your community. You are just a special group of people in the best of times and an absolute godsend during the most difficult of times, such as those we experienced over the past 12 months. During the remainder of this presentation, you will see some examples of how the pandemic impacted the way we do business in all walks of our daily lives, and how out-of-the-box thinking and can-do attitudes made the very best of a difficult time in our country and this community. I now want to take a moment to recognize our local and regional partners that work so closely with us to provide services for this great community. The County of Roanoke, Roanoke County Schools, Roanoke Valley Greenway Committee, Roanoke River Blueway Committee, Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission, Roanoke Regional Partnership, Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge, Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection, Roanoke Valley Resource Authority, Western Virginia Regional Water Authority, Salem District Office of Virginia Department of Transportation, VDOT, Roanoke Valley Television, Roanoke Regional Chamber of Commerce, Valley Metro, Vinton Area Chamber of Commerce, Vinton Volunteer Fire Department, Vinton Volunteer First Aid Crew, the City of Roanoke, the City of Salem, the County of Botetourt. The town has worked to continue to solidify our partnership with the Vinton Historical Society. The leadership of the society is energetic, passionate, and more engaged than ever as they grow and expand programs and do a wonderful job in operating the Vinton History Museum. The Vinton Breakfast Lions Club is also very active and is the very definition of a community service organization. This year's projects included a partnership to provide new Valley Metro bus shelters for the very busy intersection of Vineyard Road near Kroger, the Lancelot, and Rosie's, as well as one at the entrance of town near PFG on Virginia Avenue. Annette Patterson and her team at the Advancement Foundation are based here in Vinton. Although they continue to grow throughout the region as they support entrepreneurial growth through the Innovation Mill, now in its second year of operation, and the Gauntlet Competition, now celebrating its 7th year. Our largest single department, and perhaps the most visible, is Public Works. These professional men and women do an amazing job in providing many services that our citizens sincerely appreciate and rely on almost daily. This includes refuse and recycling, street sweeping, snow plowing, water and wastewater utility, maintenance of our town facilities, as well as public right-of-way and ground maintenance to include roads, alleys, traffic signalization, and sidewalks. Just as an example of the volume of work being done on an annual basis, this year the street sweeper covered a total of 2,100 miles. Staff completed approximately 936 work orders, collected nearly 4,000 tons of refuse, handled over 50 water line breaks, and performed over 2,000 missed utility markings. To complement the recent large equipment replacements such as our refuse truck and street sweeper, the Public Works Department will be changing out its fleet of pickup trucks in 2021. Through a creative leasing arrangement, this will serve to modernize our aging fleet while also reducing the town's outlay for vehicle repairs. Through the availability of CARES Act funding in 2020, the Public Works facility received some much-needed renovations that included an updated locker room and break room, new paint, lighting, flooring, and office reconfiguration to allow for social distance workspaces and safe working areas for interacting with the general public. We are very proud of our police department that continues to represent the town positively on all fronts and continues to attract some of the very best and talented officers. Our officers continue to engage with the citizens through their community programs, school outreach, and neighborhood programs. Some of the highlights from 2020 include a modified social distancing movie night for National Night Out, participation through the Angel Tree program, facilitating a downtown parade for William Byrd's 2020 graduating class who did not have a normal graduation ceremony due to the pandemic. Birthday drive-through parades for several Vinton residents that could not have parties due to the pandemic. Color guard for Herman L. Horn and W.E. Cundiff students to teach flag etiquette. Assisting Herman L. Horn and W.E. Cundiff with modified school drop-off and pickup procedures. Assisting with keeping the public safe during festivals and concerts. The police department also underwent extensive renovations to include updates to flooring and lighting, office renovation to better accommodate socially distant workspaces, an updated break room, updated storage for evidence handling, and physical exterior improvements. Thanks to the planning department for their tireless work behind the scenes on so many aspects of the town's community development efforts. In 2020, the department continued to oversee the building and construction permitting responsibility with the county, work with the Planning Commission, and engage citizen feedback to update zoning and subdivision ordinances, and continues to oversee the town's stormwater utility. Staff also managed the planning and construction of the newest addition to the Glade Creek Greenway and planned for multiple transportation enhancement projects to include bike and pedestrian improvements and signalized crosswalks at two of the town's most heavily traveled intersections, which will provide for safe connection from Vinton's perimeter neighborhoods to its blossoming downtown and public amenities. The P&Z staff also assisted in working with Valley Metro to provide for various public transportation adjustments for bus stops and worked with the Lions Club on 2 new bus shelters to enhance the user's experience at 2 of the most heavily utilized stops. Thanks to the Finance Treasurer's Office for their diligent efforts on their financial oversight, daily payment collection responsibilities, attending to customer utility accounts and business accounts, management of employee payroll, and handling the town's accounts payable and receivables. This office perhaps has the largest and most consistent customer interaction of all of our departments. They have been very creative in establishing and providing their customers with new efficiencies and conveniences to include automated payments, pay by phone, an improved drive-through window, and the utilization of a drop box for 24-hour service. These were proven timely as staff was able to maintain these important services throughout the pandemic, despite reduced lobby hours, increased limits on personal interactions due to social distancing requirements, and rotating teleworking requirements to address operational protocols. The Finance and Treasurer's Office also received office improvements with social distance workspaces and an improved counter and new drive-through window to better serve customers. In addition to these annual operational tasks, this year the department facilitated a radio read water meter replacement program and began a software conversion to modernize office operations, applied and managed a utility forgiveness grant program to assist customers that had fallen in default, assisted Roanoke County with a $100,000 CARES Act grant contribution to small businesses, and managed the accounting responsibility of the CARES Act projects across all of our departments. We are pleased to announce that the department was also recognized once again by GFOA for the 2019 and the 2020 budget document. Thanks to our human resources and risk management staff this year, who oversaw the physical building renovations for all departments and successfully integrated socially distanced guidance and safety protocols across all work areas. Staff also effectively implemented numerous policy and procedural adjustments within the town's various operational documents and manuals to account for new workplace guidance as a result of the pandemic. We also want to thank the Community Programs Department for their great work for the creative efforts in 2020. In a typical year, the staff plans and oversees the town's public facilities, which provide wonderful spaces to host meetings, weddings, and pay respects to our veterans. The locations include the Vinton War Memorial, the High Ground Monument, the Farmers Market, and the Charles R. Hill Community Center. As with all other aspects of our community, this department quickly responded to the pandemic by rescheduling and modifying activities, as well as providing leadership to the community and to our local businesses on the numerous and ever-changing operational guidelines being offered by the CDC and operational restrictions that were put in place by the Commonwealth of Virginia. Working with the Chamber of Commerce and the Roanoke Small Business Development Center, the community program staff quickly adopted the role of community conveyor to communicate the COVID-19 operational guidelines, post links to resources and grant opportunities, and help businesses quickly adapt to remain open and serve their customers with new, innovative approaches such as outdoor dining and curbside pickup. In addition, the community program staff worked with the Chamber to establish virtual celebrations and modified events such as the Mingle at the Market and Fall Festival to allow the activities to continue in a social distance and safe manner. Their diligence resulted in activities that worked with the governor's restrictions to offer several outdoor social gatherings to maintain some semblance of normalcy to socialize with friends and neighbors in a responsible manner. We look forward to restoring many of our treasured celebrations in this coming year that were unfortunately canceled due to the pandemic, such as the Dogwood Festival, Independence Day fireworks, and the Christmas parade. As with many other town departments, the community facilities also received updated workspaces and office reconfigurations, renovated public restrooms at the community center and farmers market to address COVID best practices, and very importantly, a designated generator was installed at the War Memorial to provide for future shelter needs should they arise. Along with the renovations mentioned previously, the municipal building also received additional building updates in the administrative suite, public restrooms, front and rear entrances to the building, and conference rooms. The council chambers was upgraded to make it a multifunctional space to accommodate meetings and training for staff. All of these renovations will allow better social distancing and safer working environments for our staff and citizens to interact. The town continues to develop and improve its walkability with the next phase of the Glade Creek Greenway that is anticipated to be open by late April and will help connect Vinton with the rest of the Roanoke Valley Greenway system. And as briefly mentioned earlier, the town completed the Washington Avenue, South Pollard, and Hardy Road, Virginia Roads pedestrian signalized intersection improvements to include pedestrian signals, high visibility crosswalk markings, improved signage, and sidewalk improvements to meet ADA compliance. Both of these projects were realized through several years of planning and the use of transportation funding provided by VDOT. In 2021, we will be looking forward to construction beginning on the first of 3 phases of the Walnut Avenue Bike and Pedestrian Improvement Project, which will establish an important third gateway corridor into the attractive and functional downtown. The initial phase has been designed from the town limits to 5th Street and will incorporate much needed bike lanes, sidewalks, a shared use pathway, and landscaping to improve this vital entrance to our downtown. In total, the town has been awarded $10 million in VDOT funding over the next 5 years to complete all 3 phases of this project. The town announced in the spring of 2020 the redevelopment plans for Gish Mill. An agreement was reached to sell the property to 2 local business owners to rehabilitate and convert the structure into a mixed-use project to include a restaurant, speakeasy, seasonal market, and a small hospitality component to include up to 5 suites available for rent through an Airbnb format. The town has since acquired nearly $750,000 in grant funding to assist with the renovations, and construction is expected to get underway in spring of 2021. River Park Shopping Center announced its plans for renovations in preparation for the new and larger Big Lots, which had its soft opening on February 25th and has a grand opening scheduled for March 13th. And a new Bank of Balltop broke ground in the fall of the year in our downtown. Rosie's Gaming Emporium announced their plans for expansion and broke ground in early 2021 on an 18,000 square foot addition to include a 3-story parking structure and an additional 350 HR terminals for a total of 500, and an expanded concert venue equipped with a larger full-service bar and restaurant. Several new dining options opened for business in downtown Vinton: Big Belly's Pizza and Subs and Our Daily Bread, offering 2 freshly renovated spaces with expansive menu options to complement the many existing restaurant options within the town of Vinton. 2 existing and beloved restaurants also announced plans to expand in the coming year, as the town reached agreements with both the Dogwood Restaurant and Farmagasa to lease space for each to establish outdoor dining patios to allow them to serve more customers and create much desired outside dining options within downtown Vinton. In 2020, the town also watched the successful renovation of Vineyard Station. This redevelopment project was a partnership with Roanoke County, the development team of Dale Wilkerson and Greg Rhodes, and the Vineyard family. The project's first tenant, Joe Goodpies, recently opened to great crowds, providing another full-service and family-friendly dining option for residents and visitors alike. 2020 was a year like no other, but as it came to a close, it was a year worth remembering for all of the good that has happened in the town of Vinton. The Vinton Town Council and the town staff made a commitment to work hard and not give up as we faced the challenges brought on by the pandemic. With faith in God and confidence in each other, we made the necessary sacrifices and pressed forward. We did not give up, and it paid off. We have truly been blessed in the town of Vinton. We know that we are stronger and better suited to face the future before us, and that 2021 will be a great year to be in Vinton. Thank you, and may God continue to bless our country.